Y'all wanted it. Now y'all are gonna get it. Hello everybody, this is Sports Talk Live here. This video is going up on YouTube and I will be doing a deeper dive into Michigan's game against New Mexico tomorrow. But it is time for the week 2 picks. This will also be going up on Twitch later on in the week as well for people who want to watch it on there on Sports Talk Live. Thanks for the interaction yesterday with some of the people who stopped in and say hello to me. I appreciate that. Getting back in here more into a normal schedule. I know in my week 1 picks there was 5 viewers, so let's see if we can increase that and continue to grow this. So let's get right into it here. So Friday game, September 5th, James Madison playing Louisville. You want to go with Louisville in this game. Normally I pick James Madison, but this time I'm going against them. They're a very, very good team. I know that they recently transitioned from the FCS to the FBS, but I don't think they're going to beat Louisville. Of course, I picked against them in the past, and they've won, but as much as I want James Madison to win this game, because I admit I have respect for them and I like them, they're not going to beat Louisville. I think that this is going to be one of the few games that they don't win that's non-conference. I know that they beat last year North Carolina, but North Carolina is not exactly a very good team, so look for Louisville to win that one. Western Illinois, yes, Western Illinois is back for a second consecutive week, and they're playing Northwestern. Northwestern's going to win. Western Illinois looked absolute garbage against Illinois, and they're playing another Big Ten school. Big Ten school's going to win. Pick Northwestern. Then you have Northern Illinois going up against Maryland. Maryland's going to win. Maryland has a terrible non-conference schedule. I remember a couple years ago they started off like 4-0, 5-0, and then they just completely fell apart. Yeah, they're playing Northern Illinois. Then they got Towson. So yeah, they're going to start off 3-0, and then they're just going to fall apart in their non-conference or in their conference schedule in the Big Ten. But look for Maryland to win this game. Northern Illinois is going to lose by at least 20. Eastern Washington against Boise State. Boise State will be unranked because they lost to South Florida. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick Eastern Washington to win this game. I'm going to go against the grain, and I'm going to pick this FCS school to upset an FBS school. I'm picking Eastern Washington to win. Then you got San Jose State and Texas. Texas is going to win. Arch Manning's probably going to throw 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, folks. He's going to be just fine, okay? He lost to Ohio State, but it's understandable because it's Ohio State. They're the defending national champions. And now you're playing a garbage team. Texas is going to run all over them. Number 2, Penn State going up against Florida International. Penn State's going to win because their non-conference schedule is garbage. I know after this they play Nevada. And no, after this they play Villanova, so they're going to start off 3-0. They're just flexing on these terrible teams. So look for Penn State to win by probably at least 30. Illinois and Duke. Illinois is going to win, but again, overrated. Non-conference team who's terrible. Baylor versus SMU. SMU is going to beat Baylor, and the Pony Express is back. They're not going to make the playoffs this year, but pick SMU. Kennesaw State and Indiana. Well, Kennesaw State, you got a problem, and the problem is you're not really that good at football. I think this is like your 3rd year in the FBS, and yeah, you're going to lose to Indiana. You're going to lose badly by at least 30. Iowa and Iowa State. Look for Iowa State to beat Iowa, because I know next week Iowa plays UMass, but that's for next week. Iowa State's going to win this game against Iowa, and you see cornfields galore in Iowa. Kent State versus Texas Tech. Kent State's just terrible. I know they broke their 27-game losing streak, but you're playing Texas Tech. You're not beating Texas Tech. Pick Texas Tech. Northwestern State at Minnesota. Northwestern State, terrible FCS school, going to get blasted by Minnesota. The Golden Gophers are going to come out of their hole, score a bunch of points, and they're going to go back into hibernate. Virginia, NC State, look for NC State to win this game. Central Michigan, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to win. Jackie Sherrill used to be a good coach for them, and Dan Marino used to be there, and you could run Dan Marino out there. He could throw 5 touchdowns, and Pittsburgh would still win. UConn, Syracuse. Syracuse is gonna win. UConn's not that good. Okay, you beat Central. You want a cookie? You beat a Northeastern Conference team. They're garbage. East Texas A&M and Florida State. Florida State's gonna win by at least 40 to 50 points. It's gonna be a blowout. Yeah, they're easy non-conference game for Florida. Again, why are you playing a team like East Texas? I get why they're doing it because they're getting paid a lot of money to play them, but it's not competitive at all. Yet, yeah, $30 to get in the game. Yeah, that's bad. I know for the UConn game tickets, it was those $4. Good because nobody wants to watch that. Liberty playing Jacksonville State. Liberty's gonna win. They always do this. They always win like 8 games in a row, then fall apart. Utah State, Texas A&M. Texas A&M's gonna win that one. Western Carolina and Wake Forest. Hey, Western Carolina, I haven't seen you in a few years. I know last time we saw you, you lost to Alabama back in 07. You're gonna lose to Wake Forest. Howard and Temple. Temple's gonna win that game easy. New Mexico and Idaho State. You know what? I'm gonna pick Idaho State to pull the upset on New Mexico. I know they're 0-2, but watch them magically find a way to defeat New Mexico. Who'd they lose to? Let's see. UNLV and Southern Utah. Okay. So, yeah. That explains it. Let me bring back here the scoreboard. Let's go down again here. The Grambling, Ohio State. Ohio State is going to win by at least 50 or 60. I know Grambling used to have Eddie Robinson, but guess what? He's dead. He's not walking through the door, folks, which means that Ohio State's going to treat this probably as a scrimmage. I would not be surprised if by the third quarter they're up by 50. They're probably going to put in their third and fourth guys. That's what Ohio State does. They play these weak teams, they treat them like a scrimmage, and then they just dominate. Clemson and Troy. Clemson's going to win. Austin Peay and Georgia. Yeah, you want to watch Georgia for the second straight week beat up on a bad team? Well, guess what? That's what you're getting because they beat Marshall. Now they're playing Austin Peay, and again, they got guys like Gunnar Stockton. He's probably gonna play the first half. Then they'll bench him. They're gonna be up by at least 40 come halftime. So yeah, it's gonna be a blowout and a bloodbath. Georgia's gonna win easily. Oklahoma State and Oregon. Oregon's going to win that. Ole Miss, Kentucky, Ole Miss. East Tennessee State and Tennessee. I remember East Tennessee State. A couple years ago, they lost to Notre Dame in their first ever game against an FCS school. They're not going to fare much better against the SEC. Sorry, East Tennessee State. You're not beating Tennessee. Tennessee's going to romp them. They're going to stop them. They're going to volunteer to beat East Tennessee State. Kansas and Missouri, Miami and Rutgers, Miami of Ohio and Rutgers. Miami of Ohio is going to win that. Fresno State, Oregon State, look for Fresno State to win. Gardner-Webb and Georgia Tech, wow. Just what I want to watch. $10 to go to the game. Georgia Tech's going to win by 40. It's going to be bad. Bowling Green and Cincinnati, well, Bowling Green won't be bowling for strikes. They're going to be bowling for spares because Cincinnati's going to run roughshod over them. Delaware and Colorado. Colorado's going to win. This is Delaware's first year in the FBS, which means that they're probably not going to do good. Okay, they beat Delaware State, but that's Delaware State. You're playing Colorado. Lindenwood and App State. App State's going to win. Lindenwood last year got blasted by Kansas. Nothing new here. Texas State, UTSA. Texas State, UAB, and Navy. You know what? Navy's going to win. They're going to start off 2-0. I know Army lost to Tarleton State, but Navy's going to help them. Navy will beat UAB. North Texas, Western Michigan, North Texas, St. Francis, and Buffalo. Buffalo's going to beat St. Francis. Bryan and UMass. Now, normally, folks, you would pick Massachusetts, but they are one of the worst FBS teams. I'm picking Bryant. Yes, Bryant is going to beat UMass by 3 points. I'm going to say it's going to be 6-3. Middle Tennessee, Wisconsin, West Virginia, and Ohio. West Virginia's going to win. Northern Iowa and Wyoming. Well, the Wyoming Cowboys are going to be leading the cows out to pasture because they're going to beat up you and I badly. South Florida, Florida's going to win that. Arkansas State, Arkansas. Sacramento State, Nevada. Sacramento State's trash. Nevada's going to win. Jackson State at Southern Miss. You know what? Jackson State's actually a decent FCS school. I know they're in the conference. I think it's the MEAC or it's the SWAC, the Southwest Athletic. They're in the historical African American schools that they got. I think that Jackson State could beat Southern Miss, and I'm going to pick that. Texas Southern, California, Cal Poly, Utah. Utah's going to win that. Missouri State, their first year as an FBS school against Marshall. I know Marshall lost to Georgia, but they're going to beat Missouri State because Missouri State's not that good. North Carolina Central at Old Dominion. Campbell at East Carolina. Florida A&M, Florida Atlantic. Again, why is this a game? Florida Atlantic. Miami and Bethune Cookman. Miami by 50 all day. South Carolina State and South Carolina. South Carolina is going to beat South Carolina State. Army and Kansas State. Kansas State's going to beat Army. I would like to see Army win. I have a lot of respect for Army and their team, but they're not going to beat Kansas State. They would be 1-1 if they didn't lose to Tarleton State, but they're going to be 0-2 to start off, but that's okay. They'll rebound. North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, Houston and Rice. Well, Minute Rice is back, and Minute Rice is, those $40. Wow. Minute Rice is going to be put in the microwave and burned to a crisp because Houston's going to run all over them. UCF, North Carolina, A&T, UCF, Western Kentucky, Toledo, Western Kentucky, Northern Colorado, and Colorado State. Memphis, Georgia State, Memphis, Tulane, South Alabama, Tulane. Long Island's playing Eastern Michigan. Yeah, Long Island's back again after they got trounced by Florida. You're not going to beat another FBS team. Just give up. Okay, you're going to lose. Tickets as low as $20. Wow. Louisiana Tech and LSU. Eastern Michigan will beat Long Island by the same score, by 50. Arizona State, Mississippi State. Arizona State's going to win that game. Michigan and Oklahoma, you know what? As much as I'm a Michigan guy, Oklahoma's going to beat them. Ball State and Auburn. Ball State's just bad. Tickets as low as $20. Yeah, I can see why. Auburn's going to win by at least 40. Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech, Akron, Nebraska's going to beat Akron. Georgia Southern, USC, Boston College, Michigan State's beating Boston College. I don't care how good they are. They're not beating a team like that. Southern Illinois and Purdue, Charleston Southern, Coastal Carolina, UL Monroe, Alabama's going to beat UL Monroe. UCLA and UNLV, McNeese and Louisiana's going to beat McNeese. Tulsa, New Mexico State, Tulsa, UT Martin and UTEP, Weber State and Arizona. Yes, Weber State, 2 FBS teams back-to-back. Lost to James Madison. Now you're going to lose to Arizona. San Diego State, Washington State, San Diego State. Stanford, BYU, UC Davis and Washington. Sam Houston and Hawaii. Hawaii is going to win that one. And that looks like it's pretty much it for week 2. So I'll see you guys soon, and be sure to like and subscribe.